It's indeed a great pleasure to chair this session. As she told rightly, yesterday we had a panel discussion consisting of senior members. No, I don't want to use the word that we are having a panel discussion with the junior members, but we have a panel discussion with the young members. We are likely to be young members in the family. Now, although already introduced and all of you know very well, I would like to introduce these panel members in a different way. I will start from the baby. Okay, I have Miss Tina with me. Tina is a fourth generation family member, belongs to Muthoor Group. She is a professionally qualified chartered accountant. She is the assistant vice president of Muthoor Finance. Muthoor Group, as you know very well, Muthoor Papachan Group has diversified interests. Apart from financial services, they are in hospitality, they are in trading, distribution, as well as in power generation. Then I have Mr. Jabir Abdul Wahab with me. Jabir Abdul Wahab belongs to Bridgeway Group of companies. He is also a professionally qualified mechanical engineer. He belongs to the second generation family. Maybe this Bridgeway Group may not be familiar with all of you, but all of you will be familiar with the previous group of schools as well as this Indus Motors. They own these two companies. Third is Mr. Alex. Alex is known to all of us because of his company, which is promoted by him, the Head Equities. He belongs to Maybe Marine Group, which starts from Calicut. And they are also in the diversified business in the case of hospitality and tourism. They, as you know very well, that they belong to the Baby Marine Exports, the largest exporter of marine products. Mr. Alex is also an engineer by profession. The fourth person is a very interesting personality. He belongs to the first generation family business. He got a distinct career of Indian Navy as a commander. From there, he came to an entirely different field of financial services and investment. He is Maxi Joe. So I welcome all of them once again to the panel member. When I introduce all of you, you might have noticed that there are some what we call common factors which are applicable to all of them. Obviously, they all belong to the family business group, and they are all professionally qualified, and 3 out of them are in financial or financial services related area. All of them are professionally qualified, 3 of them are engineers and 1 is a chartered accountant. But there are differences too. The differences are in, they belong to different generations. First to 4th generation. Tina belongs to 4th generation where Maxi is the first generation. So definitely, the situations which they manage, the problem which they face, the management is entirely different. Managing the first generation is difficult, whereas the 4th generation, the senior members might have had a good beginning. And there are some family differences. Obviously, you know they belong to different families. The cultural difference is also important. 2 of them are from Malabar and 2 of them from Travancore. You know very well that the different cultural business culture is entirely different from Malabar and that of Travancore. So I request all of you to understand this background. Though they belong to the family business, they are all different in business as well as their education. Now when we go for a panel discussion, when we have come out with some questions to deliberate, we decided that we will go for some common areas. Okay, then after discussing that one, if time permits, if master of ceremony permits, he already given an instruction to me that to reduce the time, we will go for discussion where we can have some other areas also for. So the first area which we have decided is all related to the family business. The sustainability of family business or continuity of family business depends on, as the theory of literature says, how we are able to transfer the common trait of culture and value system of the family from one generation to other generation. If you are able to transfer that values and culture to other generation, such families will be sustainable. So we would like to hear from the family members of this panel, what are the value system or culture which you have in your family and how you are transferring, or your senior members of the family transfer that culture to you and how you are going to transfer that value system to your next generation. That is the first issue which we would like to deliberate. The second, as our Professor Parimal commented yesterday, all family-based business members must be entrepreneurs. Irrespective whether you are a family businessman or non-family businessman, all business people have to be entrepreneurs. So training the entrepreneurship is a good quality in family business. We would like to know how entrepreneurship is treated or taught in your family, how your senior members inculcated a quality of entrepreneurship in you that we would like to, if you can share with us. The third issue is something different. All of them talked about the conflict in family business. No family will be without conflict. So we would like to know how the conflicts in the family are resolved. If you can explain to us with some examples, we don't want the conflicts which are not solved yet. Okay, if you can tell us some issues with, maybe for example, with your parents or with your family members or senior members, there are like take a small story. I hope all of you will be interested to hear the story. And I do not know how many of us tell the stories to our junior family members. Telling stories is the best way to treat entrepreneurship. So the story goes like this. I think it will be better if I speak in Malayalam, which I read it long back in Madhurabhumi weekly. I think it came something around 25-30 years back. The name, the title of the story is like Yadabadugal Kunyamu Mukena Matra. Kunyamu is the Kadapatra in the story. I am sorry, I am using a Malayalam story. So there is a Kunyamu is a typically a Kunalkar, okay, who makes sofas and all. So his son was very expert. Son wanted to join the family business. The father said, no, I have my own business. You do something else. So the son went somewhere else, tried to do some business, but miserably failed. End of the day, he came back to his father's shop and asked him whether I can join in the business. Father permitted him, but next day there was a board in the shop. The board was Yadavadugal Kunyamu Mugena Matra. Okay, if you want to do any business transaction, please come to me, don't go to my son. This is the story. I'll take a typical example of one family in Kerala which we do the consulting. Please don't write out which family it is. Then the four generations are there in the family. The first generation father, the patriarch is no more. He found, or the first generation is got a split. The second generation father person is a patriarch in the family. It is presently, it is an 80 crore company, doing extremely well. Got a market share in Kerala particular field. So the patriarch and his second generation does not have any problem, father and son. And the patriarch gives a lot of importance for education. He sent his third generation grandson for education. And he invited all his grandchildren to his own firm. Later he understood that grandchildren are not interested in continuing the family business. Conflict issues. We had 2 sittings with the senior generation, 2 sittings with the junior generation, and 3rd sittings. One of the junior 3rd generation gentleman who is a professionally qualified engineer with MBA from outside is that we are happy with the family business. The only issue is that we can't take any decisions in the family. Even if I want to meet a customer, I need the permission of Apachan. Apachan means grandfather. There was a young boy when we had a discussion who studied in the 9th standard. He made a comment in Malayalam. Okay, this is the situation in some family business. So we would like to have from you, okay, is there any conflict? There may be. How did you manage that conflict? If you can share that experience, it will be useful for other members in the family business. The Dhanam was very happy to see the responses from the lady members in the family. We are extremely happy that there is one lady in the panel. And we noticed that some of the male members in the family brought their wives also to this family business conclave. And extremely happy to see that one gentleman took his daughter-in-law also for this family conclave. If you see in Indian business context, women were not permitted to do the business. But during the last 25-30 years, we see a lot of changes in the family business environment, where ladies are permitted to do, and ladies are doing extremely well in business. He has given the examples of Apollo Sisters, 4 sisters. If you take the example of Ms. Lakshmi in TVS Group, we have a number of examples. In Kerala too, I don't name out. We would like to hear from you, sir. Okay, how the ladies are permitted to do business in your family? If ladies are permitted, how you give the training to ladies in the family business take up the leadership issues in family. These are the major 4 issues. Mr. Maxi is specialized in wealth management. Since he is present here, I would also happy if Mr. Maxi or others address the issue of wealth management. How wealth is created and how it can be distributed. There is a concept known as family office. It is not that much familiar in Kerala business, family business area. So I will be happy if Mr. Maxi address these issues. So I have made a beginning for this panel discussion. I started from the youngest member in the panel. Now I may go for reverse. If I will have, I request Mr. Maxi to start with the discussion.
Am I the first generation entrepreneur? No, because I got into business with my wife who started it, and I joined her 5-6 years later. So I'm not too sure I'm a first generation entrepreneur. I'm also wondering, after these two stalwarts have spoken so much, we really have anything major to contribute. Having said that, with this as a backdrop, let me try and answer the first issue of value and culture. I'm convinced about one thing, that you cannot avoid having value and culture ingrained in the system. If you don't do that, the biggest worry you have is that if you don't set these rules, there will be somebody else who will be, whose values you will be following. There will be somebody else's culture you will be following, which may not be aligned to your business or your own purpose. If you allow others to set the business, I'm reasonably confident that you're wrong. You have to set, especially if you're a first generation entrepreneur, you have to set the value system right at the beginning, because if you make a mistake there, I'm sure as the business grows, as people come from outside, they will set the culture. If you ask me as my business and my family, I think especially the business, I think for us, the ethics is paramount. It's important that we are regulatory compliant, we have trust of our clients, we have care for our clients, and finally we have attitude of creating wealth for others whose money we manage. Another important aspect is something we want to strongly believe in is creating and giving back to society. And you don't have to be a big wealth person to actually start doing that. We started at a smaller scale. We are not a very, very big business. We have started the foundation and we're working on it. And not only your money can go to them, there are a lot of people who can contribute towards this venture. I think that's my take. Thank you.
In my family, the value system which is paramount is the relationship that we take along with different stakeholders in the family and in business also. If you look at the first generation who have been in the business right from 1974 to around early 2000, which was very active for them, what they have shown, what they have actually given a lesson to us is to value relationship and to maintain that relationship. So when you do that, you make a lot of compromises, because when you put relationship on the forefront, you will have to compromise financially. Maybe that will take more time to adjust to those relationships. I'm not talking about the relationship that is within the family, within partners, or within the employee relationship with the customers. So within one value, what the first generation has taught us, that if you maintain the relationship, if you value that, you will have everything set for yourself. If you make that as a priority, you'll have a lot of other things set for you by yourself. He also told me one of the discussions to our younger generations also. His father, my grandfather, was not a businessman. He was more of a social worker. But the relationship that my grandfather made was very important. It became beneficial for my father and his brothers. My grandfather didn't get any benefit out of it, but most of the relationship that he maintained, my father and my brothers got the benefit out of it. So what he is indirectly saying is that, you may not benefit out of the relationship that you maintain. Not financially, not even in terms of favors or anything. But some others who is very close to you may get it even if you're not in this world. So that is one value system that we cherish, and I think it's a very long-term commitment. That's something which is very valuable for us.
Thank you for having us in this session. See, I think everyone in this room will agree that all the value systems you write down as in a piece of paper, everyone wants to have that value system by default. Take honesty, integrity, to take all the value system everyone wants to have. But whether it is deeply followed, it's always a question which we need to ask ourselves. I don't think it is an evolving process. And I don't know whether past generations, whether it will be written down and it will be followed in much of the in due respect. I don't know. Because the biggest challenge we are facing today, even in the data group, is how the science ministry and how science ministry problem was handled. It is a big discussion. So I don't want to get into that, but basically what I feel is we can write down, we can talk about it on the value system. I think a couple of examples I can share. One is the biggest debate within our family is like in my own family with my wife or my parents or anything is where to put the children in school. Whether he has to be in boarding school, whether he has to be there in the top end school or in the middle end school or wherever it is. So biggest discussion, always. There is a biggest discussion. The only response I give back is, the school takes care of your kid for 6 to 8 hours. The rest, 14 hours or 16 hours, they are with us. The boarding school is a different category altogether. So who is responsible for it? So it is our question. You have to ask ourselves whether we are giving back or whether we are spending time with the kids. Whether we are imparting the value system to the kids. You can't expect someone else to impart the value system to the kids. So you yourself have to take the call. So once that discussion happens, everything settles down. Then go back to the thing. So then we are not worried about which school is. So that is one example in family what we have. And second thing is when you are in family, because we are always involved with family business, we do 8 to 10 different verticals. So I think everyone, even Susan, Tina also did the same thing. So many verticals are there. So every time being entrepreneurs, you will be fed with different options. So again the value system and ethics comes from picking of these verticals. I remember my dad, like when I joined business, because 2002 I joined business. So there was a big proposal for, Kerala being tourist friendly, or more than tourist friendly, it is liquor friendly. Because that is a big business, because there is a clear report that it is a 20,000 crore business. 20,000 crore business. Whether it enter into that in a direct field itself, by opening bars. You know that as statistics also, people who have done business from 2002 to till recently, before that issue with the bars all happened. So 15 years they had a superb ride. So whether you want to do that or not, it's your question. Nothing against them. Nothing against or anything. It is all about the family business to decide. Or family to decide whether to enter or not. It is legally you can do that. No? The system is allowing you to do it. There is no problem in that. Whether what to do and how to do, it's up to you. So the question on value and ethics, we can write out all the numbers, but to answer your question, I don't know from my generation to next generation what will be transferred. It's a different thing altogether.
Now, if you see this, your family business is a business which values paramount importance, values and trust. This was come out with an interesting case that their family had a plan to start a liquor business. I am told that the Muthoot Group has a policy that they will not lend to liquor business. If it is correct or not like that. Okay. Come out with your
value system and how it is transferred to the generation.
Again, going back to what Alex said, like the next gen always sees what the parents do. So you can't impose values on your children. They learn from what they observe. So going back to the kind of values that the business, the family business takes pride in, things like dependence on God, respect for another individual, discipline, hard work, all of these, my father's generation and we learned from observing our grandfather. Like I can give a simple example, and this is very vivid in my memory. Every time our grandfather came to visit us, he'd have one ache or the other on his body. So he used to tell all his grandchildren, can you please pray for me? And even before we begin praying, he'll say, the pain's gone. So it's just a little memory that we carry around that, you know, for every little thing, he depended on God. And that kind of story has been passed on from one employee to another. And the old employees remember things like this. So now it's a practice that before we start any meeting, whether there are people from outside or just employees within the business, in all our corporate offices, branches all over the country, we just have maybe a few minutes of silent prayer, secular prayer, whatever it is. But that's a practice, you know, that it's not imposed on anyone, but it's just been carried forth since my grandfather's time. And then the little things that we used to observe, okay, even when he was sick, he used to work. Till his last few days on earth, yeah, he used to work. And we see that in our fathers and our uncles also, even on the days that we think, okay, we're struggling a lot, but how much more crucial decisions do they have to make, and yet they come to office and go through this grueling experience. When we see all that, we don't need an external motivation. Now that's how the values are getting passed down from one generation to the next. So, and I'm so glad that we have these, aside from what we've observed, of course, our fathers and our fathers, uncles and all have told us stories about our grandfather and his generation and their experience with them. So these are the things that I'm hoping that we'll pass on to the next gen also. Yeah. So that's how you pass on the values.
I am coming back to Mr. Alex. And your educational background is you are basically a mechanical engineer. So one day you decided to start a new venture that was entirely different from what your family was doing. So that means a real entrepreneurial quality. How did you come to a conclusion, a decision that from my family business area I go to a new venture, and how your family supported that?
It was, I joined my business, family business in 2002. So I was working there, seafood exports itself, and taking care of international marketing and finance. But what happened is 2006, the rupee was trading at 39 to $1, and there was a report that rupee is going to appreciate, and India was growing at 10 to 12% on a growth rate. So rupee was going to appreciate to 30 or even 25. The McKinsey report was there by 2010 or 2012. So family got together and we took a call that we need to diversify. So, and one of the diversification, which obviously I brought in, was financial services. I took a call on financial services because I did all the math then, and financial services were doing really good till 2006, 2007. 2008 it's a different story altogether. Global recession and all those things are there, but we had the math done. So that is how that project came up, which is called hedge equities or hedge finance for that matter. But the other aspect to it, whether we were able to take that decision is the first step. Because I still remember 2002 I joined my business. My younger brother was studying in UK for his masters, and he was always homesick because he was always from. He studied all through his life staying at home. So the dad and mom decided to take a break and go there and stay with him for 2 months. And the entire business, I just joined only 2-3 months. So every decision I had to take. I still remember he just said, and little bit on how I entered into stock market also is very interesting. because Dad used to trade in markets. So 2003, by 2003, I also started trading something, and I lost a hell lot of money. So I went into a depression mode also. I went into depression for 2-3 months. And see, at that point of time, there are only two options. One is you stay out of it saying that, okay, this is not my cup of tea, I have some other business to run. And second thing is to try and learn about it. I took the second choice, but second choice was taken because of my dad. So the dad said only one thing. He allowed us to do everything. He said, do your mistake, but don't commit the same mistake again. Commit some other mistake. Don't commit the same mistake again. So that kind of training, so that kind of ownership or the risk-taking capacity is what is being transferred to us, and that is why we are starting all the units for that matter. So if you ask me how I took the decision, is purely the risk-taking capacity my dad gave me.
Actually, we would like to hear from you, from the Navy experience, how you come to the financial service of investment management research.
I must admit here that I had no plans to come into this industry to begin with. Neither did I belong to a family where I could be passed on the risk-taking ability or any kind of. So what happened is actually I left the Navy and I went to Institute of Management, spent a year there. I enjoyed the finance subjects. So that was the first trigger for me. After that, I moved on to work in the Middle East, I was heading a company called Conclave and was a UAE head of it. And my kids were growing up, and I took a decision to come back and do something. And that's the time when I asked Shaini if I could join her. And I just happened to join her, and I started enjoying the process. I went on to do some good degrees. I did my CFP, I did my FRM, I did my first 2 years of CFA, and I enjoyed the process, and because I was enjoying the process, I want to get more and more involved in it, and that allowed me to take more risks in what I'm doing. And today I can probably say that we have competition at home, so I have to keep up with that. So I keep studying and doing that. So I had no specific reason to start this.
So Jabir, your father is a public personality, and he is a member of parliament. So he got a lot of public commitments, social commitments, whereas you are a pure businessman. So how do you manage these two types of boundaries? One father is having a lot of public interest, like a socially committed personality, where you have to take care of your business. So how this father-son relationship in business?
I don't get into politics, nothing into public life. We do individually, we do a lot of social works, and we do group activities in terms of social activities among the family members and everybody. But I don't get involved into his public life in no sense. There are different people involved in his life where they take care of his public life. And that's again one thing which I learned from him. During his first part of his professional career, he was not involved in his public life. He had social life. He was involved in a lot of charities, a lot of NGOs, and a lot of public initiatives and everything, but he was never involved in as a politician. So we have got a very different life altogether. He is completely a politician now, where he comes into the boardrooms once in a month and gives his strategies and gives a broader spectrum. Other than that, he's completely a politician, so we don't get involved in that. What is the other question?
So there is no conflict between the father and son in doing business?
No way, because he's I think before he got into politics, he has left business. A lot of people don't know that because they don't see the slides of life during that phase of, I think, early 2000. He had a huge ambition in one of the companies that was established in India. And when that didn't take off, he decided that he has done enough. He has seen life. He has seen what money could do. And so from there he wanted to get more into social life, and then from there gradually got into politics. Again, it was not one switch that turned and he became a politician. From early 2000s, he started slowly weaning away from business and got into social life and then politics. So he is a person, he is a completely dedicated person. He has incubated a lot of companies, he has given a lot of delegated powers to his CEOs before we joined him. So for him it is always completely separated, and we didn't have any kind of issues with
he had interesting thing. He talked about somebody who's done succession and stepped out of the business. But I personally know somebody who's probably 1,000 crore plus business. The father's 77, who's a patriarch. You have the next generation who's 47, 48 years old, Ivy League. And the generation after this, that is also 17, 18 years old. And the father doesn't allow the son to do anything. He doesn't refuse to retire. And this man is just hoping that the old man gets a bucket and then he will do something. By then, I think the younger generation would have been thinking the same and hoping for the same. So that's the kind of problem you have with the passion the patriarch or the initial owner has with business.
Tina, you are a chartered owner by qualification, and before joining your family business, you worked with companies like APMG and UR. So joining the family business, was it your selection or choice or compulsion? And then second question, any suggestion to members, women in family business?
This I read somewhere that the two most stressful decisions that someone has to make in their life is when it comes to their marriage and when it comes to switching a job. I think joining the family business was a combination of both for me, so it was doubly stressful. Stressful in the sense that this was one of the things that I deliberated the most, although everything that was done since childhood was with the intention of ultimately joining the business. I never put a time on when, at what age, at what point, what stage of the business it would be. But when it came to actually making the decision, I just kept pondering, is it time, am I ready, is the business ready for me, is it going to be the right fit? And I had to take a lot of help from peers and people I studied with. Maybe they were also, I did my CA, so I had other CA friends who had joined their father's partnership and things like that. But I gave a lot of advice and their own experience as well as to whether this would be the right step for me. I said earlier that I spent some time in the business when I just finished my CA. At that time, I was very raw and we were in the stage of professionalizing the business, so even the family business was really raw to absorb me. The good thing about moving out and working somewhere else, like I said, aside from getting the technical capabilities, was growing in terms of maturity. Now that I've joined the business, I realize that others can see me as an individual who's contributing something to the business, not the knowledge. Even those of you in the audience, you'll realize that most of the people here who are in whatever segment you're in, you don't have the specialization in that segment, but you're still working that business. So that's the point. When you gain experience outside, you're bringing a level of maturity, you're learning so much about yourself. That's what you're actually contributing to the business. Dr. Rohit asked me a question about the kind of conflict that I had at some point. This is the conflict that I actually faced before getting into the business, because my father would tell me, why don't you join? And I'd come up with some excuse or the other. Or like I said, I had this in the back of my mind. But is this the time for me to join? Will I be able to contribute? What am I going to get out of being there? Like, this may not work out considering the fact that I have a different kind of experience. But I just have to tell all the young people here who think that their ideas are not going to get accepted, or it might be difficult to work with family members. All that may be there, but you're not going to discover until you get your hands burnt. You have to get into the business. Maybe a year or two down the line, all of this will be a little bit clearer to you. And at that point, you may realize that, if you were in your father's place when you were presenting these ideas, if someone else were to come with the same ideas, you'd probably have that same mentality. 2 years down the line, the kind of experience that you get in the business will groom you to make better decisions. So, being a family business is, with an older generation, is a combination of both, the energy that the youth brings and the wisdom of experience. You have to bring the two together.
Now, my next question is with Maxi. I know Maxi for the last 10 years in different meetings in Kochi. Wherever we see Maxi, we can see either the right hand side of Maxi or left hand side. I don't know whether Maxi is leading or Shiny is leading. Both of them will be together. So I would like to know in that background, how women can manage business.
As they are concerned, I got a daughter and a son. We have treated them absolutely equal. We have, they have equal rights to business, money, education, and everything possible. So today, if you ask me, both women play a very important role and they are equally competent. Unfortunately, today there are 50% of women on the earth and they own minuscule amount of wealth out of that. So I think they have a right to much more wealth, much more ownership, much more business, because they are as much others. And Chinese are living example as far as I'm concerned. So I'm left of her, right of her, behind her, in front of her. So I'm all around her, and she's my inspiration.
Java, you are three brothers in business. And I think that there are no ladies in that generation. How do you rate? How do you see that your family, female in the family members, are they allowed to do in the business? Whether you promote or you say that, okay, let them be at home, let them manage the family, whether we will manage business, let them manage family.
I remember discussing this issue with you, but I think I'll step a little bit back. I think every human being, why we call human being is because we have to be humane. Humanity has to be there. So whoever does whatever, whoever does good work, has to be appreciated, and more than that, you have to be respected. So with that respect, will solve a lot of issues. It is not that a woman or a man does this job or the other job. Whatever job we do, if it's valued at a particular say, I'm getting a salary of say 1 crore. You can value it. You can value it in business, whether it is plus or minus, or you can do all of things. But how can you put a value to a woman who is at home taking care of the family in different aspects? How can you put a value to it? You cannot put a value to it. So understanding that, because my father said, okay, if you want to put a value to it, say in some cultures it's $1 million. I say $1 million, whatever it is. You can't put a value to it. So if you have that mindset, and if you appreciate and respect the people in wherever they are, then these questions will never arise. We have different scenarios. I've got 3 brothers, but I've got cousin sisters and cousin brothers. So one of the cousin sisters you know, she's already in business. She takes care of her own business, and she's very good at it. She's very aggressive and very energetic, and she goes and gets whatever she wants. So there are both sides in the same family. There are people who take care, and if you look at my cousin sisters and my wife, my sister-in-laws, everybody has got their own companies. If you talk to my wife, she's PG in marketing. And if you look at her, and if you talk to her, she's the best person to marketing. Because she can create, she can indulge you in that particular product very easily. She's that kind of nature. And she did her own business for a year, and then she had to take care of the family, so she set up a customer business for some time. So it's not about whether you're in business or you're not in business. Whoever it is, man or woman. I think it's very important that we respect each one of us. And with that, you will find that all these questions coming up, the opportunities will come, and then when the opportunity comes, you will be able to grab it easily without any kind of social stigmas and everything. So it's all about your prioritization. You want to prioritize your family, you have to prioritize your professional life. It's all your personal choices, and when you take those choices, at your 18 years of age, or 28, or 38, or 40, or 50. So we have to have that flexibility and that kind of an approach. We will find it very easy to go along. And this didn't come to me at the age of 18. I'm 38 now. I understand that, mingling with people and with your own experience of that, this is how life should be taken, rather than, looking at these questions as yes or no.
Would like that?
I think it's the wrong question in Kerala. Because Kerala doesn't have this kind of issues at all. Because we are a human-less level, we are much above than any other, like closer to any European country. I say more than US. So this is the wrong question. Not question in the sense, but actually we have rights, or the women have more rights. You take even any strata for that matter. So you take Kudumbasri for that matter. So in Kerala, that question, the only thing is whether the women want to, the women's priority is very important. So I had this discussion with my wife many times, because I told her, like, now she's very clear on her priority. Because after, like, our first kid was born, like 1.5 years into her life. So it was from that day onwards, her priority is very clear on raising the kid. So now I have 3 kids. So the thing is, I have asked her many times, like, she's a rank holder, in civil engineering. So I didn't want to, I was pushing her to do something. I'll set her a business for her, but she didn't want to. Because she's setting her priorities very clear. So we had these debates over and over, and I think women are very clear on their priorities. And in Kerala, as men or anything, there is nothing stopping from women from doing anything for that. It is just their priorities.
We will conclude this panel discussion on behalf of Dhanam. We thank all the panel members for this highly event. We hope that there is a famous say by is maybe attributed to Andrew Carnegie. Shortly was free the impression. But if I feel if God gives a chance to Carnegie to come back and say, shortly, I'm sure he will say shortly to the impression, but not in Kerala. We are very positive about the future of knowledge business in Kerala. By this, I conclude this second panel discussion. On behalf of the Dhanam, I thank the members, Mr. Alex, Mr. Jawad, Mr. Maxi, and Ms. Tina, for participating in the panel discussion. I also thank all of you for your listening and the contribution. Thank you very much.